Alright, welcome back to another episode of Game Crafters, where we are still building. But there is progress that has been made, thankfully, at the very least. Progress that you can see. And it's definitely progress that, that I definitely made a lot more than I did than the last time I recorded 5 of those. Because they're actually rendered and... They're actually rendered. Anyways, if you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a like and subscribe for more. I am tired, as per usual, but it's mostly eye tired, not like full tired. My eyes are tired. I just got finished working on Chrome Wars cover for the next episode. Which, by the way, I am so glad that series is finally started. It's nice, to be able to make that particular series finally. Because it's been something that I've been kind of working on, like, slowly but surely, like, a long time ago. But it wasn't really like, like, as of recent, it's been mostly just weapons, right? And before we were making a bunch of mechs, some bases and whatnot. Then we kind of stopped doing that after a while because we've made a decent amount of bases, and those were getting pretty complex. Now we got criteria regions, and let's just say I don't know how much I miss the criteria, the Chrome War bases, but it's up there. It is indeed definitely up there with how complex some of these... Why is it always somehow... No, you're going to be even. Anyways, yeah, it's just... It feels great to have the Chrome War series finally start. I don't know exactly what I had in mind when I first wanted to make like an actual full-on series of it. But we landed on what we have right now, and I do say I do kind of like it. It's nice. It's I guess it makes sense given the current positioning that series is supposed to be mostly. A large majority of the plot line all consists down on atomic manipulation device, which is basically just like the whole plot device of Chrome Wars. I don't know what the plot device of Criteria is. Creatures. A lot of creatures in Criteria. That's a plot device. I guess there's more to it, but spoiler territory, so yeah, Either way, we've got Chrome Wars next episode covered done. And I'm hoping to try to get Laughter Academy taken care of, but I don't know how that's going to go. I mean, realistically speaking, it is definitely a lengthy series, to say the least. But hey, it's good. Could I get this down to 1? No, it's just always an even number needed to do something, and it's just, ugh. No. But all I know is that I am here. I'm going to continue to create as per usual. And at the very least, I'm not doing this last minute, like I usually normally would. Nope, I at least have, like, a good, I don't know, hour head start, more than an hour head start, technically. So yes, we are starting, and here we are. I don't really know what else to say. Like, after I get Chrome... Because Chrome Wars I'm not planning on posting until Sunday. Same thing kind of applies with Laughter Academy, but for Monday instead. So, aside from that, there's also My Luna Academia that I want to make that next episode of. But, God, it's going to be at least decently big. The fact that I gotta draw like 5 characters and their outfits are complex is all fuck. Like, some of the characters have some complex outfits. How do the animators do it? That's what I want to know. How do they do it? How do they do sell? That's another question that needs to be asked. I don't know how they did sell. All I know is that trying to draw complex outfits in a singular frame is a pain in the ass. Trying to draw it multiple times in multiple frames takes way too long. And while technically this isn't really my job, creating these series, as much as I would kind of like for it to be, but more so just in the writing sense and the design sense, I try to keep the designs of the characters a bit more simplistic. The only one that's not really that simplistic is like characters like Shikama or Genthru, from Nova Guardians and Elementals Reborn, respectively. Those two have some pretty complex designs. But all the characters have at least some designs to them that can be considered a little complex. Wait a minute. Mistakes. Mistakes were made. I forgot these are counting towards the number. There we go. So yeah. I got some character designs over there. I try to keep not too complex. Then again, I haven't even looked at the reference materials for the character's design. I'm just going off of memory. Still though, it's a lot to draw on specific characters' designs and whatnot. Especially since it's not a mature drawing, but just a nice, friendly game of tag that could lead to a mature outcome with one burly, buff man. But it doesn't. I'd say it's spoilers, because technically it is spoilers, but I don't think anybody really cares about spoilers for a literal alteration made by a horny pink android girl. I don't think anybody here really cares about that. But hey, there might be some, I don't know, troubled women that are interested in the man I'm talking about. Very, very troubled indeed. If you know who I'm talking about Endeavor. But yeah, like I said, complex designs. So, on top of that, I gotta do a warp room. Crash Bandicoot warp room design. I got the beach with Ripperoo. I got the temple with Papu Papu. And take a wild guess as to what the next one's gonna be. We're basically going off of what the first game's kind of general positioning is for the, I guess Insanity Beach is like the first island, and then the Temples was like the second island, kind of, except Papu Papu's there, so that kind of like throws you off a little bit. But don't worry, it is its own thing. Also, what direction is it going in? It's going straight. No problem. I don't think I really need to worry about this being too high up. Just don't do the stupid thing you did the last time, even though I don't think we have anything open outside of... Nah, that's good. Outside of me, answering someone's question, being like, armory. Because somebody's questioning why some armor piece in Crustamalus sells for like freaking 100,000 flues. That's a lot. I'm gonna even give you a price point here. Almost this is loud. It's not loud, but 20 years Imperial Online. Oh, yeah, that's definitely deserved on a game that was once Gods of Labs. Also, I got a Ascend apparently. Let's do that before the 2 times, and of course the server's lag like fucking shit. I just want to see how much this costs, but while I'm here, I might as well take care of at least a couple of things and see how much. Oh, it only has an hour left. How convenient. How convenient. Alright, I just want to look at the shops here. So your average price of flues, or at the very least, the lowest price, is 400 flues for $6. And then there's the globe of flues. That's okay. There goes my timer. I don't need that there, I guess. Then there's the globe of flues, which is 32,000 flues at $239.99. So $240 for 32,000. Now we take 32,000, multiply that by say 3. And 2,400 times 3 is $720 for only 96,000 flues. And if you want to make up the cost with 4,000, you got to take the 2,000 there, which is $24. At 26, so 24. Fuck. So no. So plus 24, plus another 24, and technically there was like $5, no, $3 taken off, so you would have to spend like $2,205 or $2,205 in normal speak. So you gotta spend well over $2,000 just to be able to get that amount of flues to be able to spend on an armor piece that, honestly, I don't think it would be worth that much, since a lot of the stuff that's similar to it is kind of, at the very least, around the same price of, say, $20,000 or something. Or maybe it's just the rarity of the item, and it's very rare. And it's like hitting a jackpot, which I've never frickin' done in that game, because the RNG bullshit hates me as per usual. That's always the case in games like that. And yet here I am, not spending a single cent, because money at this point in time is just not exactly in an ideal state, given, things I don't wish to continue talking about, because I am tired of talking about it. So we'll just continue on and just say, yeah, no. 100,000 for that armor piece. They even put it in the shop. They even sold the armor in the shop for fuck's sakes, for 100,000. I am actually baffled, genuinely surprised that that is the average price for something that feels so simplistic. Well, simplistic. I could just go to the Discord Armory thing, because I am kind of right there. This medallion gives you 60% attack, 5% crit rate, 50% crit damage, 10% attack speed, and 5% lifesteal. And of course, there's a set to it, but, you might as well just buy the whole set and get almost all of that value without having to go through the whole song and dance and be golden. So, it's the one time where there's no evens, motherfucker. No, give me an odd. So, yeah, and like all the other armor put together, that set doesn't even equate to 100,000. It barely does. So I don't know who the hell's smoking crack. They must be smoking some pretty good crack to make 100,000 for one singular armor piece worth it by that much. But then again, we're in the era where the developers are just desperate for cash, apparently. And as I've said in the previous episode, I think they shut down a game that they had owned previously, but I don't think they made it. I think they just bought it and then they shut it down because it just wasn't getting us any more cash for some reason. I could probably take a wild guess as to why it just wasn't getting you any more cash. And they would be like, oh no, that can't be it. No, surely people are just done with this game and we'll just abandon it and don't update it whatsoever. Or if we do update it, we're going to update it with very scummy pay-to-win packs and whatnot that only costs money or costs an absorbent amount of the already in-game currency that we have. Rada rada, life's a bitch. It's not worth the money. Nothing there is worth the money. I'll tell you this right now, that ain't worth a single penny. Plus, mobile games don't last. Believe me, I know. This isn't my first one. I've had a few, or at least really a couple, that I stuck around until the bitter end. I believe I've said it before, but I'll say it again. One of them was Monster Sweepers, and another one was, of course, an old Roguelife. In other words, Roguelife. I don't know why I went Boomhauer there, but I did. And those two games, while they did kind of come back, it was a shell of its former self, I think bought by another terrible mobile game company. I just don't know. The mobile game marketing is not marketing. There's no marketing there. The mobile game market is just complete and utter shit nowadays. Or at least it feels like it. I don't really bother playing any of them. The only one I'm playing right now is this one. Which I did do a drawing of the character, or at least one of the characters, and then a few of the characters after that. Which I probably could find it. But if I'm gonna find it, I'm gonna go down on my face cam so YouTube don't see the mature drawings that I have here. Because there's a lot. Not a whole bunch. It's a 1-to-3 ratio, but I gotta remember where the hell I drew this. When did I draw this? There it is. Alright, exit. This is the drawing in question right here. Oh god, please just get me to the image. There we go. There's the characters, the Vulcans, because she's my favorite for some reason. She was the only female Vulcan, and then here's another example. They added in another Vulcan, but they didn't give the Vulcan ears, so I made a little jest of it with them making fun of her ears. Because the ears are what make a Vulcan. And this guy is always in the mech, so you never get to see him in this state. All I can say is that when that game eventually gets its servers shut down, I call dibs on the Vulcan Hammer girl. Literally just Vulcan Hammer. She doesn't even have a name. I have literally just resorted to calling her Volca. Because it sounds cute, and it's kind of gimmicky with her name being similar to her species, race. I guess. No. What the hell would... Species. Her species name. I don't know what else I was expecting there. There was nothing I was expecting. I'm expecting you to die, Bonds. Die, Bonds? Yes, Bonds, I expect you to die. Oh, right, okay. I gotta remember. There's a very important thing here that is going to be taken into consideration. I don't know if it's here, though. It might be here. Let me just look. Where are we? Here we are here. Okay, so this is the area. I have something cool in mind. If you see this here, and you see that, I will tell you this. This is where all 33 of the skull levers come into play. Once you've pulled all 33 levers, a skull gate will open up here. But what I want to do is have 33 braziers just scattered around this little part of the island here. I have no clue where they're all going to go. I can think a few placements like here, at least. I might have at least something in mind with that one, so I'm going to give it a shot. I think for now, I'm going to keep this kind of up here for now. I think we're going to try to go down here. And if I can remember to do the thing that needs to be done, then we'll be golden. I don't even think I need anything from this, so I'm just going to get rid of it. So anyways, yeah, as I was saying, when that game dies, I call dibs on her. Whoever that guy on Discord is who's obsessed with Joanne of Arc or Joanne de Arc or whatever the fuck her name is, that's all you, buddy. You can keep that. I'm gonna grab from this one instead. I think this one's probably better. Whoever the hell goes after Hugh, you fool. That's a Tigress ripoff. DreamWorks is now coming to assassinate you. I know it was very tempting, but it was a matter of time until DreamWorks decided to assassinate someone for that design, and whoever calls dibs on her, well, you left holding the bag, or in this case, the hit target. Yeah, because they literally, I don't even think this was Godsey Labs, I'm not sure. They literally just created a ripoff Tigress, so I usually refer to her as Rot. Like the Scarlet Rot from Elden Rings, because she's pretty much just in every freaking instance of the game. And it's just very annoying to have to deal with in PvP. I finally got one of my own. Probably too little too late if this game decides to shut down soon, I don't know. They might have whales just actively trying to keep it alive, but for how long? For how long? I will say they really are just trying to make pets the most freaking pay-to-win exclusive item I've ever seen. Because not even 1,000 flues would get you one chest opening of the freaking item. That's pretty ballsy. Pretty ballsy indeed, I must say. I gotta say, that's not exactly, it's not good. Because it really is just telling me that, telling all of us, they really just don't care. They're going to make the price as expensive as all hell. And then shutting the game down, wondering, why did nobody want to buy those purchases? It's like, I don't even know how, like the calculation for how much, God, here I go again. This is the episode where I just bash on a mobile game that's like slowly but surely becoming a pay-to-win. What do you call it? That's gonna eventually. God fucking damn! I hate this slippery fucking phone case. Oh, great! Oh, I forgot. There's rewards here that you get a couple free ones or a few, and then you gotta spend a small amount. This new thing, which is just. Oh yeah, there's also the whatever. I'm not gonna worry about that. I'm worrying about how much these fucking pet treats cost now. It costs $6 to get 1,000, which is like 2.5 chest openings. And now in the chest opening department, you get a 90% chance for each of the items and a 5% small chance for an essence to be able to get the shards for pet. But here's the kicker. You only get 5 at a time from a chest opening. Now, to unlock them, you need 50 of those. That's a lot of shards to collect. And then there was, of course, the instance where you gotta level them up, which, so far, that's reasonable. There was 5, 10, 15, 20, and so on and so forth, it seems. But when it gets higher, you need a lot more shards. I don't even know anybody free-to-play will get to this, because this will probably... game will shut down at some point. But then there's 2-star unlock, which requires you to get the 5 levels for the 2 skills that are unlocked. So technically it's not even 250. Technically it's 1, 2, 3, if it's 20, 4, 25, 5, 75, plus another 75, which is 150, plus the 250, which is 400 shards. And of course, there's the essence, but you get 10 of those. You're going to have more essence than you would shards. So 400 shards divided by 5 is 80 chest openings. And that's assuming you get the same shards of the same pet out of 1 out of 5 pets. And sometimes you might even get a shard. You only get 5% chance of getting an essence in place of a shard. So 80 of chest openings is 400 of the treats. And what was it again? It was like 1,000 per $6, I think. I'm gonna have to fucking open it up and look again. 1,000 per $6. God, so it's 32 times $6. And again, it's not even guaranteed. Yep, $6. There's also 5,000 for $24. So there's like a small, what do you call it? But assume we don't do that and we divide it by 32, we know, but multiply it by 6. You're spending $192, and you're not even going to get the pet to freaking 2-star. And who knows what the hell 3-star is? We're never going to find out. Because like I said, the game will probably get its server shut down at some point in the future. Because let's be real here, these kind of things that are happening, why do I feel like this one's lower when it actually isn't? These kind of things that are happening is basically just, it feels like a desperate attempt to get some form of money to keep the game rolling. That's what it feels like. And I don't like that, because that means this game is going to die too. And that's another game, another notch on my belt for mobile games that I have stuck around for as long as I have, that ended up dying. I don't know why this happens. I don't know why these companies can't just, be normal when it comes to making a good product. They always have to worry about a profit of some kind. I just don't know. I just don't know why it feels like businessmen aren't actually as smart as they think they are. It's just what it feels like. That's just what it feels like. I don't know what to tell you. It's like they're baffled by like the bad decisions that they made leading to like whatever the hell they're making getting shut down. It really takes a special kind of person to just be blind by their own incompetency at making sure that this product is a product that people want. But nope. No, they don't have that thought process. They lack it for some reason. It's only like every now and again where there's like a good moment. But even then, it's like kind of overshadowed by the stupidity that we are forced to have to witness. So yeah, lots of stuff, I guess. I don't know. I'm pretty sure many people can agree. Corporations aren't as smart as they like to think they are. Nobody is as smart as they like to think they are. It's a really, really hard game to play, the smart game. Because oftentimes you think you're going to win, you end up losing. That's just the way that goes. And I can't really say whose fault it would be. Is it your fault? Maybe. Maybe you thought you were smart, but it turns out you're not. But, I guess it's at some point it becomes less about being intelligent and more about it just being about the money and wanting any attempt at being able to get every bit of money. It kind of reminds me of like a certain group of people. That said group being hackers. Not hackers. That said group being scammers. Not the hackers. Though there are also some hackers that are in that department, but they're more ethical than scammers, that's for certain. Oh boy. That's a real big praise for the hackers out there, especially the hackers that go after the scammers. That's like ethical hacking right there. I've been watching a lot of scam bait people just constantly giving scammers a heart attack or an aneurysm just due to what they do. I guess that's why my brain went to hacker instead of scammers. Though, different kind of hacker, obviously. So yeah, and I've just been thinking about, like, wouldn't it be nice if you could just actively do something about the hackers from the safety of your own home? Because it really does feel like the authorities in those particular areas are just like, it's a hacker or a scammer. Jesus Christ, what? See what I mean? Human stupidity. I'm prime example number one of it. Probably right behind Markiplier. What a way to say his name. What a way to say his name. Markiplier. It's like you're trying to say I. It's like Stewie saying whip. I guess it's the K and the I set together more. Back to the scammers. Wouldn't it be nice to just, I don't know, snap something out of existence, i.e. their computers? They call you, you confront them, they laugh and mock you and be like, oh, you want to mock me, huh? Snap. There goes your computer. There goes your computer. And they're just over there shitting bricks trying to play like a brave, bold game. They try to hang up, but you use your telepathic skill because now you're connected to them telepathically, so they have no choice but to listen to you. You're in their head, constantly talking to them. You got not only the Shinigami eyes, but you got the Shinigami thought too. So all you gotta do is just, ears, better yet, because you can hear them. You probably can't really think about them. You got the Shinigami ears, which allows you to hear their age, when they're going to or die in their name and all that stuff, yada yada. You know how that series works. And then you go on ahead and just say their name from there. You don't have the death book. Nope. Or death note. Yes, the death book. What was that called? Accept. What the fuck was it? Yeppa you is what? No, you fucking dumbass. Was it yabba you? Yes, this one. Legally acceptable sound-alike, which doesn't make sense for Death Book, but it's a parody. Let's just say it's a parody. Alright, we don't have the Death Book. We don't have the Death Note, but we don't have the Death Book either. So all we have is their names to use and basically scare the shit out of them. And why go there? Why not just take it a step further and just teleport them to whatever the hellhole you like, or your own hell cave that you've dug out. They're gonna be scared shitless now. And then you go to them in your demon form, or whatever form you want to take on. Because at this point, you're no longer human if you have these powers. You're some monster, and now you're gonna devour the flesh of anybody who now enters into your cave. And that thing so happens to be a scammer, well... And what's best about this power that you also now have all of a sudden is that you can also make everybody who, at the very least, you teleported their friend, anybody in the general room can now hear their actual talking, not thoughts, can hear them talking, can hear their screams and cries, And then they hear you with your demonic voice. Now, it doesn't have to be just the demon. It could be, the succubus or incubus as well, depending on who the hell you, think you have in you. I got the demon and the succubus. These two inhuman personalities are quite a handful sometimes. But I have means to block them out in some way, shape, or form. You might not be so lucky. Or lucky, depending on your situation here. You might be like, yes, I will use this form to torment or do whatever I want to this douche nozzle. And then their friends basically just hear them, and it's horrifying. And maybe they will never scam again, because they just met up with a demon. And if they are any bit religious, they will probably just be like, nope, I am done scamming, I will now repent. And I don't know what happened to my friend here. He's gone. He's probably dying a very painful death. I'm just gonna cut my losses and leave. Or, she. We don't know who is being brought into this hell cave that you have created or spawned, or this parallel dimension. I mean, you're basically just some kind of Shinigami or succubus or basic common demon. At this point, you might as well just have a parallel dimension. You've already crossed the line. You might as well just become a full-on SCP at this point and just terrorize any scammers trying to annoy you. They try to call you, it's not your number. You got your own demon phone that, intercepts a scammer's call. You got your good old hell conch, or whatever the hell that was called in Terraria. Demon conch? I don't know. That intercepts the calls to it, so it's untraceable. I mean, you're a demon at this point. I don't think the laws of human nature or humanity in general or society is going to stop you. I don't think a cop could stop you. You're a demon. You're a dimension-hopping demon. And, yeah. It's a very interesting thought process, I feel like it would be just very funny to just see these fools actually be scared. Just imagine at least making their computer disappear from existence. You tell them that you know where they are, you snap their computer out, you tell them their name, tell them their parents' name, their children's name, if they even have any. Everything. Even their social security, if they have that wherever they are, I don't know. Anything at all. And then use the powers you have to just, maybe not even teleport or blank the computer out of existence, melt it. Melt it into plastic and steel. Well, I guess I'm using this. Melt it before them. And then, of course, you're a demon at this point. Your voice obviously has to have some kind of change. Whatever change you want. And, of course, you still have the ability to just, still talk to them even when you are, got hung up on. What, they think they can hang up on you? Yeah. What would also be pretty funny if there was just some means to just kind of technologically bypass a restart and a shutdown. So that despite the fact that they shut it down and restarted it, they still hear your voice on their computer. Or even go to a mile further. They unplug it, still hear your voice on the computer. I mean, at that point, you might as well just be able to telepathically talk to them. And what would be even more funnier if you can create hallucinatory projections, so that you can go on ahead and say, "I'm standing right outside your door. And like, really, really, show yourself there. Go walk through those doors, and then you just have your holographic projection just being like, not even walking through it, phasing through it, and you see the face of a demon, a long face, glowing yellow eyes, open mouth with sharp teeth going down your eyes, open like right here, sharp teeth right there and there. And then you're just like, hello? Hello? And Mr. What's his name's voice from Star Trek. And they just. Could you imagine the content that the scam baiters who can hack into CTVs would have if they just see a demon's face phasing through a door? Not even auditory hallucinations. You just astral projecting a physical manifestation that even people you're not targeting can see. Even a camera can see. And, yeah, I would say that would be pretty hilarious. I wish we had someone like that who exists. It would be pretty terrifying for that to exist, and its powers would be used for evil and stuff. And of course, a lot of mentally unwell and overly religious people would be like, end times, apocalypto 28 or some shit 432, don't remember. And then a lot of bad things can happen, but a lot of good things can happen as well. Like scaring the ever-living shit out of a hacker because of a demon existing. Yes. Where am I again? I am here, I think. So yeah, that technology would be very... Not technology. That demonic power would be very funny and cool to have, and if used properly. Otherwise, it could cause mass hysteria and a panic. I think it would still cause mass hysteria and a panic when people see that and are like, demons exist! It doesn't matter that it went after a hacker. Demons exist, Jim. Jimmy. Jim James, Jimbo's son. Let me tell you a little something about demons. They're bad things, son. Sure, they went after scammers one day, then they'll go after old Poppy the next. They're bad, son, demons. They do be bad. Yes, Skibidi Riz. Could you fucking imagine? You know how some people of the older generation says certain terms from their era of living? Could you imagine, 100 years from now, we hear old people going Skibidi? Because that's basically what their entire, talk language was during the time frame of their existence. It's a very horrifying thing to think about when you think about it. And now you're forced to think about it because it's going to happen. One way or another, it's going to happen. You're not going to like it. None of us is going to like it. Well, we're going to be dead by that point. I won't be here around to see it unless I've somehow managed to ascend to that of an actual god and can physically have a body or a being enter into this plane of reality for whatever reason. I don't know why I would if I'm in Luna or Phage universe at this point. Why would I come back here? This place sucks. Anyways, yeah. I'm not going to be around to see that. You guys are going to be around to experience it. and then the next generation after that. And depending on how long that these videos stay up on YouTube, or if YouTube even exists during that particular time frame, which I would be surprised if it does. Yeah, you guys are going to see this video like hopefully 100 years after its conception and be like, oh, this was an interesting game. Oh shit, he was right. All of the older people are saying Skibidi and Ridge because this was their whole language. And I of this generation are saying something like Squadiddlyfoot and Biblidicky. I don't fucking know. I'm just trying to come up with something that could potentially make the most sense that could top Skibidi Toilet. I don't know what the hell could top that. What would top it? Shreddizzle? Not Shreddizzle, Shreddizzle. Kipley Dickles? Blimley? Tittles? Nah, I feel like that already existed. Well, we just went back and just did Rick Astley. And that's for some reason the meme. Or Ashlified. Doesn't make any sense. It doesn't have to make any sense. Skibidi doesn't make any sense. So here we are. I don't know why we're here. I think this is hell. Feels like hell. Probably smells like hell too. Who can say though? All I can say is we are definitely going to have a bunch of people in like their 80s from the generation prior to me that are going to be very much regretting. Yeah, sure, you know what? We'll add that to the pile of things. Regretting. It's like mixing gritty and regret or some shit. I don't know. Like, there's got to be a limit to just how many asinine words one can make up. There's got to be, right? There's just no way we can come up with anything more insane. I mean, now Labubu's is pretty tame, in all honesty. There's nothing really too special about it. Well, that's not where we want that to go, it seems. Yeah, I don't really know, but I'm not really the one in charge of that now, am I? I feel like at this point, it's basically just the next several generations before us. Although, to be honest with you, is there really going to be any generations, like, before all of us now at this point in time, given, you know, the end of the world or something? I don't know. Probably not. Who can say, really? There might not even be a world to come back to. But that's just how it goes. Also, how much time is left? 12 minutes, really? Okay, well, we have enough time to at least get this to. Oh god, we're lagging. Is everything good? Yeah, everything's good. So, yeah, all things considered, we might not even get to that era, so we might all be dead before that happens. Which could be a good thing. Who knows? Maybe it is. Well, then again, if something catastrophic happens and my potential backup plan actually somehow succeeds, we're somehow on the timeline where Luna swoops in and saves all of our asses. If that somehow actually happens, we might get to that. But that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make if it means being able to live a peaceful existence in general. I mean, because let's be real here. Living in that particular world is definitely a million times better than living in this world. And that's no contest, really. First of all, I get to see Luna. Get the Luna experience. They all know damn well that she definitely has something planned for me when the time maybe hopefully comes. I say that because, it's good to have faith that something like that would happen. I feel like that's probably how the afterlife works, right? In order for, you to, be brought to an afterlife, you have to have at least faith in it existing, right? That's what I feel like that is. Possibly. I can't exactly say 100% for a fact. But a lot of people have faith that a heaven exists. So I'll have faith that, all the universes I've created, my soul will go to there. Honestly, I would very much like for that to be my, at least, send off from this plane of existence when the time comes. I mean, it's no different from believing in a heaven existing. Like, in all honesty, I want this to happen. It might not happen. I want to go to heaven. It might not even exist. That's the point of having faith. Have faith that whatever your ideal afterlife is, it exists, and you shall go to it. And I'd say that's a really good use for religion right there. None of these exploitative people trying to, steal a bunch of money off of people being like, oh, this will definitely help God. Because it won't. It definitely will not help. It will only help the people who are trying to get money. Meanwhile, God only just wants you to live your life, and then once you've lived through it, the pain and all, you get your paradise. Or at least those that believe in Him. Everybody believes in their own gods, and they get their own version of their own paradise. And that makes sense. My own version of my own paradise would be basically just to be a god of creation living within Phage universe where Luna resides. That's my paradise. And I have staked my claim on it so. And who knows, if Christianity is the right, afterlife there, I don't know, right, but if it is the afterlife for everybody, hell and all, maybe God will allow me this. I can have faith in both, but I can't exactly say with my particular, theory on, whatever we create becomes real in another universe, so whoever created our universe must have made it for, something specific. Whether it be for, Law and Order, NCSI, or something along the lines of that, or a political drama, we don't know. But, I guess that's just the drawback, I say with quotation marks, of creating, is that, I have a pretty good imagination. I can create pretty much anything my mind can think up of. I rarely suffer from anything like artist block or even writer's block. I have some little mental roadblocks, but they're only minor when it comes to writing. But I usually come up with something in the end. And I've used this talent to just create whatever I want. I do a mix of both mature and normal artwork. You've seen one already, and you know of another one behind this image, or window. And of course, there's the thumbnails that I make for these videos, which, by the way, I also got Borderlands thumbnails made, so I have the first game's thumbnail ready and raring to go once we're finished with Croc, which will probably be done next week. Apparently, Croc has another batch of achievements for some reason that aren't unlocked yet. I don't think I'll get to those, just due to the fact that I don't think they're going to exist by the time I am done with the game, which should theoretically be the last episode, being next week. Because this week we're going through the aggravation of the Crystal Islands. Next week we're going to go complete 2 bosses without collecting a single crystal and without taking damage, which theoretically should be easy because these 2 bosses are pretty easy. It's just the freaking stupid fireball shooting assholes that are just going to be in my way. Though I don't know if avoiding collecting crystals in both of them will be easy, so that again might be a separate thing. I'm not sure. We'll find out when the time comes. But yes, like I said, I have created a lot. So me doing all these creations has basically just allowed me a little bit more leeway and thought into what my general idea and theories are for stuff like this can be. Could I be talking out of my ass? Isn't everybody talking out of their ass? I feel like it's been so long that the original version of Christianity is kind of just lost at this point. And I'm sure it was good, but I have no clue. Because it just doesn't feel like a lot of people are really following those particular teachings like they should. People have like the cross in their bios, and they are the most racist, homophobic, and transphobic people you have ever seen. Why is it stopped here again? I don't know. That's at least the way that I see it. I'm pretty sure a lot of people can probably agree that they really have just forgotten the teachings that, that God has henceforth placed amongst thee. Some other fancier words. So, yeah. You're going to understand why, for the most part, I'm not really too big on religion, but I'm not really too, upset about it either when people are using it the right way and not trying to justify their actions with it. I mean, that really does just put, any religion in the bad light when people use it as a means to do whatever the hell corrupt thing they want to do, or to be as mean as they want and be like, oh, but God will forgive me in the end. Bitch, I'm pretty sure God has put you on the do not put in the heaven list. My God, I have never seen somebody so hateful before in my life. I know I'm supposed to forgive and all, but how am I supposed to forgive this? You're not even making it easy on me. I mean, I wouldn't blame him. If my entire teachings are supposed to be nice to one another, well, you all have failed that. I don't know how any clearer he could have been, but, I guess that's just human nature at this point. I don't know what else to say. I think we pretty much got everything done with. It's almost time anyways. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7. Not bad. Mountains are still an ish, but it's fine. What's fine enough for now. If I remember correctly, we're going to end right here maybe. I think this might be where the mountain connects here, and I'm trying to hold off on that. I got this taken care of. I got 5 more left to take care of. That's what I'm hoping to do. But I think I'll just end this here. Keep that on 1 because we are going to be going into Croc with that. And we'll just call it there. I don't even know what the hell to call this episode. Just a scammer's nightmare? Something? I don't know, I'll figure something out. So thank you all for watching today's episode of Game Crafters, where we always talk about insane stuff. I think the most insane stuff was us now becoming demons terrorizing scammers. So thank you all for watching today's episode. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, subscribe for more. check out that there playlist, of course. Previous episode of Gamecraft right over here, and the most recent episode of Minecraft ROTC Edition right over here. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next episode. Unless you're a scammer, in this case, you're probably already dead. Later.